ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. There's been a major air crash in the Midwest, and there have been survivors. The United Airlines DC-10, with 287 passengers and a crew of 11, was en route from Denver to Chicago and then on to Philadelphia when the aircraft lost hydraulic pressure, which means the pilot loses some and perhaps most of the ability to control his aircraft. Well, he apparently had some control because there was a little time for the airport at Sioux City, Iowa, to prepare as best it could for a crash landing. United Flight 232, however, just didn't quite make it. It crashed just before the runway and, in the words of one eyewitness, cartwheeled into hundreds of pieces. And there was a fire and there were survivors. On the line now from the Sioux City Airport is Tracy Houseworth, who is one of the people who actually saw it happen. Tracy, tell us what you did see.
I was traveling northbound on Interstate 29, and I noticed that the plane seemed extremely low, and as I watched it closer, it looked like it was going to land on me, so I pulled off the interstate and immediately got out of my vehicle. It landed not too far past the interstate. It just hit and went end over end cartwheeled, and it was the immediate flames and smoke.
Did you see anything after that, Tracy?
From my viewpoint on the interstate, all I could see was the flames and smoke, but I knew it had to be extremely bad.
Did you see any sign of people actually walking away from the crash?
No, I did not.
Did you see anything look like evacuation helicopters flying onto the crash site?
No.
Okay, Tracy Houseworth, who was driving by at the time. There have been some other eyewitnesses we've actually talked to, including one member of the Iowa Air National Guard who had landed his aircraft a short while before. And from him and from other eyewitnesses are the indications of survivors, some people actually walking away. There have been reports from some of the local hospitals that at least some people, not very many so far, have actually made it into the hospital, and other survivors have actually made it into the Sioux City terminal. But it is, as you can imagine, an enormously chaotic situation, even though the airport did have some time to prepare for the crash. The pilot, we do not know his name yet, United has released only the number of people on board, came down to about 11,000 feet, hovered basically until he could get the airport ready for a crash landing. They couldn't get ready in time. He didn't make it far enough. Standing by in Washington to talk to us about the hydraulic failure is ABC Science editor Jim Slade. Jim, when you have a hydraulic failure, what happens?
It means you lose almost all your power assist aboard the airplane, Peter. He's probably lost control of his ailerons, his elevators, his rudder, and if he had been able to get the airplane on the runway, he would undoubtedly have lost control of his brakes. There are some mechanical links. It would have taken great physical force and probably some use of the differential pressure of his engines to be able to steer the airplane as well as he did up to that last moment.
Jim, I understand that on this particular aircraft there are 3 hydraulic systems. No backup? Doesn't one pick up where the other leaves off?
No, the hydraulic systems, as they're described to me by some technical experts tonight, there is a hydraulic system for each one of the individual set of control surfaces, elevator, aileron, and rudder.
Okay, now you prepared some stuff for us, I know,
Yes.
from the National Transport Safety Board and the FAA.
Hydraulics problems have popped up before on the DC-10. The DC-10's history includes 2 major crashes, the first causing a redesign of some of the machine's structure and hydraulic control setup. In that one, in March of 1974, a cargo door blew off a Turkish Airlines DC-10, causing the rear cabin floor to collapse onto the hydraulic control lines. The plane was uncontrollable. 346 people were killed. The setup was changed drastically to improve the layout. Then in 1979, 275 people were killed aboard an American Airlines DC-10 when an engine on the left wing ripped loose. American maintenance procedures were blamed for that one. There are 202 DC-10s now flying in the U.S. fleet. United has 55 of them. American has the most with 61. And tonight here in Washington, we're told that 3 National Transportation Safety Board investigators have left the city for Sioux City. They will set up their investigation as soon as they arrive.
Okay, Jim, thanks very much. In Washington, Jim Slade, 287 passengers, a crew of 11 on board. As this broadcast continues, we'll do our very best to find out more details. In a lot of airline crashes, there is a tendency to rush to judgment. We'll try to avoid that as well. In a moment, Mikhail Gorbachev goes on television urging Soviet miners to go back to work. And also, later in the broadcast, William Bennett, the government's drug czar, seeking support for his campaign against drugs. And the scientific proof that aspirin does really help prevent heart attacks.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.